Man, Dr. Pepper is so freaking good. Yo, guys, what is up? What's good? What's poppin'? My name's Kaylee Pond, and I'm coming back at it again with another video. Anyways, the content for this video is going to be something immaculate. Ready, folks? Ready, folks? This video is going to be about softball struggles. And the struggles that I'm going to be talking about aren't the most known struggles, if you know what I mean. All these softball players and potentially baseball players that are going to be watching this, you guys are going to be able to relate to these. And you're going to think, why has no one talked about these struggles before? Like, I encounter them all the time. Anyways, so the title of this are Common Softball Struggles That Are Uncommonly Talked About. That is the long title of this. So, with that being said, folks, let's just jump right into the video. The first common softball struggle that isn't often talked about. Wet grass. Yes, there are other sports that endure this, but I just think that there is something about wet grass when playing softball that just irks my soul. I'm going to set the scene. It's 6:30 in the morning and you're starting warm-ups for an 8 a.m. game. And coach tells you guys to go do a jog in the outfield to warm up, and you start doing the jog, and instantly the water just starts seeping in to your cleats. And then as you're taking some more steps, the entire team goes, ooh, it's so wet. And then you start kicking water on your butt, and then all of a sudden you have these like water marks all over your booty, and it's terrible because you're wearing white pants. Eventually the cleats can't endure the high amount of water that is just seeping within, and it reaches your socks. Now your socks are all gross and mucky, and you already know at the end of the day when you have to take off your cleats, your feet are gonna smell like Lord knows what. I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, this is just, it's just irks my soul. It's just not it. So yeah, that's a struggle. Wet grass, especially for 8 a.m. games. Number 2. The sun. Now this struggle goes out for every single outfielder because I know that you guys have experienced it. And I'm talking about that line drive that just goes right into the sun and you can't see it at all. Baseball players have to track down this thing in the sun. I don't know how the heck you guys see anything. This thing is tiny. Like, how I would need to wear these in the games because I would not be able to see this. And then us softball players have to track down this thing, which, yes, it's obviously bigger than this, but it's still like relatively small. Anyways, you're not gonna see this through that giant fireball in the sky. You're not gonna see it. The best is when the coaches are like, oh, try to field off the sun with your glove. The ball is in the sun. If I do that, I'm not gonna be able to catch the ball because I'm not gonna be able to see it because it's in the freaking sun. We're not all Mike Trout, and it's very, very difficult to be able to track a ball that's hit directly into the sun, especially when it's a line drive. Number 3, dirt on the water bottle. And let me elaborate. Now, for all of you well-prepared softball players that actually show up to games and practices with either hydro flasks, those big jugs with a bunch of ice in them, or any sort of reusable water bottle, this struggle won't necessarily relate to you. Now, for those people who do not do that and instead just raid someone's cooler or go to the snack shack to get a water bottle, also known as myself, you guys will heavily relate to this struggle. You get it fresh out of the cooler or fresh from the snack shack, and it still has that condensation on it because it's freezing cold. And then, you know, you get that water bottle and, you know, you're drinking it because you're like, oh my gosh, finally, like, I have some water. I'm thirsty. And then you drop it in the dugout and the dirt just gets all over the water bottle and it's so painful. Although this isn't like a huge softball struggle, I just think it just relates so heavily because this always happens to me. I feel as though some other softball players will share this connection, or you baseball players. Number 4, carrying equipment. Now, this issue really hits hard for me because I always end up carrying equipment. Now, I understand that a lot of sports involve athletes having to carry their equipment. For example, football, they have to carry their pads. Hockey, they got to carry all their stuff. I don't know about a lot of other sports, but you know, basketball, you have to carry a basketball bag, soccer bag, etc. Now, softball players, we also have to carry our softball bags, and baseball players as well. Now, baseball and softball players, we still have to carry our bags. And I'm not talking about that equipment. I'm talking about carrying team equipment. I don't think you guys understand. See, I am not a pitcher and I am not a catcher. So you know what that means? I always end up getting the equipment. Now, usually I will either have 2 bow nets or I will have a bow net and a bucket of balls. That's just how it works. The team is out of Northern California and we play in LA and down south a lot. A lot of the girls on the team are able to fly there. But my parents, we just love to drive. Because we always drive, we always end up having to carry a bunch of equipment because girls can't really take it on their flights without having to pay extra. Unless they're bougie and they have Southwest. Let me just say, you know, when your arm is already sore, like carrying that bow net on your shoulder and then the bucket of balls in one hand, it takes a little bit of wear on the body. I understand this isn't a big stressing issue, but I just think it needed to be mentioned because it just hits home for myself. Number 5, having no social life. Like, I mean, I've played a lot of sports in my lifetime. In my 18 years on this planet Earth, I've played a lot of sports. But I feel like softball players, I mean, I don't know about baseball players, but I know softball players, we dang near miss the most out of every single sport. I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, if the softball gods are like, in order to be a competitive softball player, you need to miss this many school dances, which quite frankly would make sense. I don't think you could call yourself a competitive softball player if you haven't missed a single homecoming. Like, and if you've only missed one homecoming, like, just give yourself a round of applause. Like, I think the softball gods just really like you or something like that. And this doesn't even just count for school dances. This counts birthday parties, sleepovers, day trips. This counts vacations. I don't even remember the last time I just went on a vacation. Like, all of my vacations have always been softball tournaments. I either don't have the time because I have a softball tournament or I just don't have the time because I have practice. Like, there's no ands, ifs, or buts. Like, there's what's a vacation? Like a cruise? Like, what? Never heard of it. Well, that's a list. There's some common softball struggles that softball players encounter a lot. Some baseball players may encounter it as well. Obviously, I can't really speak on behalf of the baseball community because I've never played baseball. But, you know, I feel like we do share some of these things, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to create this list. Yes, I know that there are other softball struggles that are generally talked about a lot, but I wanted to bring attention and awareness to some of the struggles that just don't get mentioned that much. You know, there's other struggles too, and I just wanted to include it. Okay, now with a side note, I just want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing. I was amazed by how many subscribers I got within like the first day of getting this YouTube channel. All the comments you guys are giving, honestly, it was so helpful. The comment section, you guys are amazing. Loving the support that you guys are giving me. Yes, yes, yes. That being said, if any of these struggles related to you, please comment down below. Or if there are any other softball struggles or baseball struggles that weren't mentioned, please comment them down below. I can make a part 2 to this if you guys want. Again, if you want to see that, comment down below. Basically, whatever you want to comment, as long as it's not hate or you're not disrespecting others, comment down below. Well, thanks again for watching the video. I hope you enjoy. KP out.